Millions face starvation in Africa. Britain and the European Union are among those who've pledged financial aid. But what can you, as a viewer, do to help those affected? Well, here in Kenya, the Red Cross has launched the Embrace a Family campaign. For $30 a month, you can support a family of 5, ensuring they have at least one meal a day. Each cent goes directly to families identified by the Red Cross as high risk. While famine has not officially been declared in Kenya, more than 2 million people are in desperate need of aid due to a crippling drought. The Kenya Red Cross believes that direct money transfers rather than food donations is the best way to assist. The organization says it empowers people to buy their own food and products and therefore helps them regain their dignity.
In the past, women and children have to queue up and line up for hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, waiting for 2 kilos, 5 kilos of this food. And it is very humiliating and dehumanizing. But at least this one, with a cash transfer, you're giving them back their dignity. They become credit worthy. They can go to a shop and a vendor and a store and buy what they want to buy.
The Red Cross is hoping other countries will follow suit and provide donation options through local systems.
So they have other forms of fundraising. I mean, if you look at Somalia, they have the Hawala banking system where people, the diaspora Somalis are sending money back home through this money transfer back to their people, and that is something that can be encouraged and emulated, that they can actually use as a means of resource mobilization for the drought.
The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs is driving the campaigns in South Sudan, Somalia and Yemen, while UNICEF is behind a fundraising campaign in Nigeria. Robyn Smith, CGTN in Nairobi, Kenya.
Now for more details, we're joined by Jacqueline Rioba in Nairobi, Associate Director of Humanitarian Emergency Affairs for the NGO World Vision. Jacqueline, thank you for joining us. Now let's begin with just how bad the situation is and the factors contributing to the severe circumstances.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, the situation is very severe. And it not just cuts across Kenya, but also neighboring countries, Somalia, Ethiopia, and South Sudan. And one of the contributing factors to this persistent drought is the effects of climate change. We are increasingly seeing erratic weather patterns, not only in Kenya, but in the East African region, and this is attributed to the effects of climate change. For instance, in Kenya, we have persistent poor rainfall that has contributed to the drought situation that we are facing as a nation. And this is replicated in Somalia and Ethiopia. But we also have other factors like conflicts, political situations. For instance, in South Sudan, where the circumstances are favorable for agriculture, but because of war and effects of conflict, the populations there become food insecure. Additionally, the lack of use of appropriate technology or appropriate equipment to be in sync with the growth of population in African countries is also contributing significantly to the situation we are seeing ourselves in. There is need to use more appropriate technologies in order to be able to produce more that will take care of the increase in population. So a myriad of all these factors is contributing significantly. And as a result of climate change, we are seeing people that were affected, for instance, in the 2011-2012 drought, have become even more vulnerable. So with each drought episode, there's an increase in the number of people that are vulnerable, that do not have sufficient coping mechanisms. And a contribution of all these factors and others is what is making us to be where we are now.
Well, Jacqueline, the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva has called for emergency measures to deal with the situation and stop it from getting worse. We know some money, not enough money, has been pledged by the international community. What else can the world do? What else can the international community do to help with the situation?
I think first and foremost, the international community has an obligation to speed up the implementation of the measures that will go into doing climate change mitigation, because this is actually like the overall cause of this drought. But right now, as we speak, millions of lives are at risk, especially children under the age of 5 years and the other vulnerable groups. Immediate life-saving assistance is required to save lives. For Kenya, over 75,000 children are facing severe malnutrition. This is a very serious condition that requires immediate assistance, otherwise they will die. So my call is to all the international community and partners to please come in and fund the several appeals that have been made to contribute to saving lives of populations that are affected. So one way to do this is we are raising money as World Vision. We have an appeal of $16.6 million, and we want to reach out to do interventions that will save children's lives. Emergency nutrition interventions, provision of water, as well as food assistance through cash transfers. These are some of the ways that the international community as well as the other partners can come in and save the situation as it is.